Bradley Beal,
or as I like to call him, Bradley Steele. But go ahead.
got traded to the Phoenix Suns. Didn't really have to give up much. The Phoenix Suns didn't really have to give up much. They didn't have to give up a first-round pick. They gave up a second-round. They gave up some seconds, I believe it was. And they gave up Chris Paul. And they got Bradley Beal. I'm going to pass it on to you. I want to get your reaction as a Wizards fan, and then we could talk about just the Phoenix Suns side of things. Your reaction to Bradley Beal finally gone from the Wizards.
It is about time that this organization gets serious about changing the way we operate around here. I mean, finally, we're embracing the rebuild and the possible tanking. This is what I've been asking for the past 3 or so years. I knew Bradley Beal wasn't the guy that was going to lead us to even a second round appearance. Mm-hmm. I was like, we need to just start over. The experiment failed. We got rid of John Wall, and we gave Bradley Beal all of that money. I said, no, this ain't going to work. I said, we need to do a complete rebuild. Just start over. We got rid of the GM. We bought in a new GM. We bought in different other front office guys that seem to have good reputation around the league. I was like, yes, we're finally on the right track. All we have to do is get rid of Bradley Beal, and they did exactly that. I love it. Grant, now, I will admit, the haul we got back was not a haul at all. Compared to a U-Haul, that might be a minivan for what we got back for him. But unfortunately, the former GM, Tommy Shepard, screwed us over with that no-trade clause. And I don't know why they give
a minivan. That's being too nice. You know those cars. I think it's called a Fiat.
Oh,
that's
wow.
What you guys got. A Fiat back, not no minivan. A Fiat. That was bad. But continue.
But we really had no choice. I mean, we wanted the money off the books. We had to get back something. So, and unfortunately, Bradley Beal, he wanted to go to Phoenix, running from the grind. But hey, I'm just glad he's gone. Now we can really rebuild and finally get where we need to be as an organization.
I'm going to say this because you guys are about to make a dumb move. The Suns got you guys. They helped you low key because you guys wanted DeAndre Ayton in that contract. The Suns did you guys a favor because who the hell wants DeAndre Ayton in that contract? Miss me with that. Oh, he's only 20 so years old. Dude is like you say, like Kobe Bryant likes to say, he's soft as charming tissue. Why would you want that contract? And he has like 3 or 4 more years left. That would have been a terrible idea by you guys as GM, by you guys as organization to want DeAndre Ayton back. So the Suns did you guys a favor. Unless you were going to get a pick or something, be able to trade him.
They probably would have just traded him.
So maybe that, but overall, at the end of the day, you don't want those problems. You don't want that headache. So very fortunate. But yeah, that trade, the Wizards, that was really just to get rid of the contract, like you said. And the fact that you were able to get rid of the contract is a plus, but at the end of the day, you're rebuilding, so you need first-round picks. And you didn't get no first-round picks for your cornerstone franchise player. It's an abomination. And that's because of Tommy Shepard. He was the scapegoat and all of this. It could have been the owner that was like, give him that contract. Because you know how Ted, what's his name? Ted Leon or something like
Leonsis.
that? Bruh, he is player. He's one of those owners that very loyal to the player.
Unless the name is John Wall. But
even though he did give him that contract. But Gilbert Arenas said it perfectly, like when he was talking about his situation with Ted and how Ted gave him that money and stuff like that because of just what he's done in the past. Did the same thing with Bradley Beal. And I think it wasn't Tommy Shepard that gave him Bradley Beal that money. It was the owner that said, give Bradley Beal that money. Because nobody in their right mind would decide.
No, it was Tommy Shepard.
It was him. He was the one that advocated?
Yes, he said it.
Wow.
He said he gave Bradley Beal that no trade clause and all of that. He said he was the one that did that.
What was the thinking process behind it? What was he thinking?
screw over the teams. That's what his thought process
I don't
was.
understand why he would do something like that. I don't see the logic behind giving.
You see, he's still unemployed.
I
Yeah.
do see that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that was worst contract in the league. It is, but just okay. The Wizards side of things, we get it. But let's look at the Suns side of things. So the Suns, they acquired Bradley Beal, gave up Chris Paul. They got also Isaiah Todd, but I heard he's not really
He's
good.
not good at all.
he is like 22 years old, but he's not really good.
Can't even hoop in the G League, with all due respect.
Wow. What pick did you guys draft him in? I forgot.
I think he was like a late first, maybe.
I guess. I don't know. But he was supposed to have some type of potential. It just hasn't panned out too much.
He has potential like I have potential to be in to make it in the league.
Yeah. But looking at the Suns side of things, here's the thing. So they're going the super team route. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. You, Xavier, anybody else. Oh, Bradley Beal. Why they keep overvaluing Bradley Beal? We seen him play. Bradley Beal as a third option is great. That is fantastic. That's what he needs to be, a third option. Not the 2, not the 1, the third option. Perfect. It's a super team. I don't care what anybody says. You have Durant, Booker, Bradley Beal, 3 all-star caliber players. That's a super team. 2 all-NBA guys and 1 all-star caliber player. That's a super team. Bradley Beal. What I'm concerned about with the Suns is it's not actually Bradley Beal or Devin Booker. It's Kevin Durant. Why? It's not because of his basketball ability. It's because of injuries. Kevin Durant.
You should be concerned about Bradley Beal then.
No, but I'm more concerned about Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay.
Age, his ankle, his Achilles, like this foot. It can go out in any moment. And the fact that you don't have any depth. Right now they only have 5 players on the roster, I think it is. They're not going to have the ability to get quality role players. So you're going to have to play these guys high-level minutes. I don't know if Kevin Durant's body will be able to handle just the high amount of minutes for an 82-game season. Will Kevin Durant be available when it matters most, which is the postseason? And that's where I'm most concerned about. The regular season, the reason why you need depth is for the regular season, so that your star players will be healthy enough, they'll be fresh enough for when it matters most, because we already know the star players are going to play 40-plus minutes in the playoffs. Will the Phoenix Suns be fresh enough? Will the star players specifically be fresh enough entering the postseason? That's the biggest question mark. I believe that Booker's going to be ready. I believe Bradley Beal, that one, he has been a bit injury prone, I will say. But is that because he played in a bad organization and he said, well, I got my money, I don't need to play all these games? Was that because of that? Or was it legitimately injuries? That's my thing. Because I know a guy by the name of Anthony Davis, played on the Pelicans. He missed some games. When he went to the Lakers that first year, he was dealing with some injuries. He was playing hurt, and he played majority of his games. Once he won that chip, next few years, he's been kind of injury prone and stuff like that. So is that the case with Bradley Beal, where on the Wizards, because he got his money, because he was secure, because he's the franchise guy, because he was playing on a bad team, he decided, I'm not going to risk injuring myself even more on a bad squad? Will he decide to play more games than he's done in previous years because now he's on a championship caliber team? I would say yes. I believe he will play more games. The onus falls back to Kevin Durant. That's who I'm looking at the most, because he's been injury prone these past 4 years. Ever since 2019 against Toronto, he's been injury prone. Will he be able to hold up to the very end? That's my biggest question mark. And if he can, if the 3 stars can hold up the entire season, they're going to be a problem. But if they can't, which is a risk, that's the risk you play, then I see this as a collapse. A bad decision by upper management to take this risk. because it hasn't panned out these past few years. The super team model has not panned out. Why? Because a lot of these players aren't in their prime. But thing is, Bradley Beal and Devin Booker aren't in their primes. I think that's the difference. Kevin Durant is not in his prime. I'm gonna say it. Kevin Durant is not in his prime anymore. Physically speaking, he's not in his prime anymore. So that's concerning. And he's the best player. So when your best player is not in his prime and he's injury prone, that's concerning. But Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are in their prime, so that's the good thing. Will they be able to hold up is the biggest question mark. And who are they going to bring in to complement the 3-star players? Will DeAndre Ayton be traded? That's another thing. And who are they going to get back for DeAndre Ayton? Because who wants that contract? Like, seriously. They don't have... What picks do they have? They gave up a lot, like 2-3 first-rounders for Kevin Durant. They gave up second-rounders for Bradley Beal. Who else do they have? Like, what else can you give for picks to load off of DeAndre Ayton's contract? Like, are people just going to gift them?
Nah.
Like, what? How are you going to do it? With Russell Westbrook, with us, he had 1 year left. We have to give up a first-round pick to load off that contract for half a season.
Yeah.
Half a season. So you're telling me, I get it. Age is true. People are going to look at, he still has potential. He was the number 1 pick. But when you hear things about Monty Williams and him not liking DeAndre Ayton, not liking to coach him and sort of that friction, and the fact that he was the number 1 pick and he hasn't lived up to his potential, and then you watch the film, him not giving maximum effort, people questioning his motor, and he's getting paid all that money, do you really want to take that risk and acquire a guy that has a lot of those flaws?
Nope.
Sounds like Kwame Brown to me, just with a little bit more talent. That's what it sounds like. That's what it reminds me of. All the flaws DeAndre Ayton has, all the things that I'm hearing from Monty Williams reminds me of Kwame Brown. Now, is he as bad as Kwame Brown? No. But at the same time, that's what some people have been saying about Kwame Brown. So, yeah, how you feel about just from the Suns' side of view?
They have no depth. Again, still.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea where they're going to get it from. And they have Frank Vogel, who's a defensive-minded coach, which is probably a good thing with all those scorers on the floor. But you going to get Bradley Beal to play some defense? I don't think so. And then the lineup is going to be mad small. Who's playing guard? Who between Book and Brad is going to play the 2 guard? I hope they better not have Bradley Beal play point. Oh, my goodness, that'd be a disaster.
Brad at 2, maybe Book at 3. I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to work. I don't. The super team model is cooked, man. They need to let it go. The last one that actually worked was the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
All the other winners since then have had balanced rosters across the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 2 stars. 2 stars in a solid roster is the meta now.
Mm-hmm.
You copy the winners, not the losers. I just don't think it's going to work. I think Denver would still beat them. Maybe in 7 instead of 6 this time, but Denver's just top to bottom. They're just a better team still. So they'll probably get maybe WCF.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. This doesn't look like a finals team at the moment.
Here's the thing, and we'll get to that later about are the Suns the sort of the favorites to win a championship, but Frank Vogel as the head coach, it just doesn't make sense to me because Frank Vogel, he needs depth. He likes to play guys that are tall, that are big. He needs defensive guys. They don't have any defensive guys. They don't have any shot blockers. He needs tall, shot blocking bigs. when the Lakers won a chip with Frank Vogel, who do they had? They had McGee, they had White, they had Davis. Pacers, they had Roy Hibbert, they had Jan Mahimi. Those guys were tall shot blockers. He needs guys like that, and he also needs wing defenders. When he was with the Pacers, he had Paul George, and he had Paul George. He went to go to the Lakers. He had Caruso. LeBron could play some defense in 2020. Anthony Davis, he can guard the wing a little. When 2020, he could guard the wing a little bit. He had guys that he can go to. KCP as well. When you look at the Suns, who's going to guard the wing? Who's going to guard the interior? Like, seriously, what are we doing? You're putting Frank Vogel at a difficult position. This just reminds me of when he was with the Lakers and how they got all those old guys, literally changed the entire roster that doesn't fit Frank Vogel's style as a coach. I just don't see how this works long term, because in order for Frank Vogel to be effective, he needs his guys, and frankly, he doesn't have his guys right now. And if you keep DeAndre Ayton, that's even worse. You can't have him on the floor. You can't have him on the team with Frank Vogel as the coach, because DeAndre Ayton, he's just gonna ignore him. Frank Vogel's a good dude, but he's not going to be able to get to DeAndre Ayton. If Monty Williams couldn't get to DeAndre Ayton, who everybody likes, they think he's a good dude, what is Frank Vogel going to do? So, yeah, Suns right now, are they a championship? Are they the favorite to win the championship? I'm not going to go there.
They're not even the favorites in Vegas to win.
I'll still go with the Nuggets, because I think they still have majority of their guys coming back, minus Bruce Brown.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Officially confirmed Bruce Brown isn't going to be back. But Mike Malone wants him back, so.
Obviously, yeah. But he taking that discount, it's going to be kind of hard, especially if you're a role player. But the Nuggets, they built a really nice squad. I think they should be respected, and I believe they should be considered the favorites right now. I saw Stephen A. Smith's list, top 5 favorites in the NBA right now. Had, I think, the Nuggets 1, Boston 2, Milwaukee 3, Lakers 4, and I think he has Suns 5. And I think that's a bit premature and disrespectful to the Miami Heat. Because they just went to the finals. I understand they're 8th seed, but they just went to the finals. They beat Boston. They beat Milwaukee. And you're just going to ignore them? That's what I have a problem with, is that he jumps the Suns up. He doesn't even include Miami, who beat all those Eastern Conference teams that he has on the list. It's like he thinks the Miami run was a fluke, that it was just an outlier. When they went to the ECF the year before and went to 7 games at home, if Jimmy Butler makes that 3-point shot, Jimmy Butler might have 3 finals appearances. Shoot. Possibly even win the finals against Golden State, because I don't think they pulling that bullshit. I think they were a better team last year than they are this year. I don't think they pulled that bullshit with Jason Tatum pulled, and Jimmy Butler was healthy. That was a healthy Jimmy Butler. So, you never know. But, yeah, the Suns, I can't put them in the championship favorite yet until I see how the roster is constructed. Where are you on that?
Same.
They
not tricking me again like they did with the Nets.
Yeah, because the Nets, I actually liked at first I was a bit worried with the Nets from a defensive aspect, but once they got to the postseason, they looked unstoppable. But then injuries happened, and that's the problem, because they're so top heavy that when you go to a super team route, you're going to be super top heavy, where if one of your guys go out, it's going to be very hard for you to really win much more. And that's where the Nets sort of lost, is that they relied too heavily on those 3 guys, and 2 of the guys got injured. Harden, he played, but we know his hamstring was bothering him, and they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in 7. So, yeah, man, championship favorites. No, I still have the Nuggets as the championship favorites. So let's see here.